Hi, welcome to the Linda Show.
Oh, you wish.
And Will is just part of it.
I'm just the
and
prop.
He's just part of the magnetic mismatch.
What's up? Damn. Okay.
You got booted off your own show.
I got booted off already? I mean,
It's the Linda Show.
yeah. Sometimes it feels like it. Hi.
Ooh,
What's
you should
up?
be careful.
So, what's going on today? What are we chatting about?
Today, we are chatting about the collision between modern versus a traditional wedding.
Ding ding.
Ding ding. Something we had to deal with a little over a year ago.
Yes.
Felt longer.
Yeah, that was a time frame. There was definitely some tension and some let's call them disagreements between my mom and myself.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely get into that.
We'll get into that. There's going to be some funny stories for you today.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously a wedding and getting married. So if you're listening and you're in that situation, you've got an upcoming wedding or you're planning, I'm sure you're stressed and everything.
Yeah.
Congratulations first and foremost, but yeah, be prepared. There's a lot to talk about. So
yeah. And just keep in mind the fact that you're walking down an aisle. You have hit the love lottery, right? A lot of things have to happen correctly and fall into its place for you two to have met each other. And a lot of work has been done in the relationship for you to feel like this is the person I will and can see myself spending the rest of my life with.
that's the plan. That's the hope.
That's the plan.
Doesn't always end up that way.
But some days, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's a pretty crazy thing when you do think about it. It's like two people in the universe or in this world kind of finding each other, maybe meeting at the right time. Because sometimes it is about timing.
Yeah.
You know, you guys get along, whatever it is. And there's like, what, 7 billion people on the planet, over 300 million in the US. And somehow you were able to find a match with somebody that you would consider spending the rest of your life with.
Here's a side story.
Uh-oh.
Will and I went to high school together.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah. But we never talked.
You were too cool for me. That's
Yeah,
why. I didn't even
know.
exist
Yeah.
in your universe.
No.
I knew who you were, though.
I know.
You know, Miss Popular in the drill team and all that.
Anyway. And the only reason we started connecting again after college was because I ran into
a mutual friend.
I wouldn't call him a friend.
An acquaintance, a classmate.
Yeah. I knew from high school. I ran into him on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And the person he happened to message was you.
Oh, yeah. So that was interesting.
You reached out to me and that's how we started talking.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
That is so weird. Of all the different ways to meet, right?
I know, right?
And we hit it off after like when we started chatting and stuff like that. But it's crazy how like one random event or that you think is random at that point leads to all of a sudden the biggest change in our life, you know?
Yeah.
So
because growing up, I was like, I can't wait to get out of here soon enough.
Yeah. I wasn't even on your radar.
And no, you were not.
That's fine. That's cool.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. I get it. But yeah, no, it's a big deal.
It is.
You know, it's a big part of many people's lives. And even if you're not planning on getting married, that, hey, you know, you might be living with that person, whatever it is. But today we are talking about people that have made that decision to go through a wedding, to pay for a wedding, to plan and, you know, spend time to do that event. So,
yeah. And if you are planning a wedding, you know you're getting overcharged just for about anything.
You just have to go in knowing you're going to get screwed with. You're going to have to pay.
I swear, there's a special pricing for weddings.
And premium for sure.
Premium. Yeah, it's crazy.
So what's a traditional wedding? And I think everybody has a different definition, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, being Chinese, we have a Chinese tradition. We have a lot of traditions. You're part Chinese. and I know how traditional your family is.
Just being sarcastic.
Yeah, your family is the opposite of traditional with all
Yeah.
the quirks and everything.
So
that
this
come
was
along
our
with it.
situation. Will's mom is very traditional, very superstitious. And Will and I were very modern. We like things to be very simple, straightforward, low stress, low
Easy.
maintenance, easygoing. And my parents, who just wanted to show up to the wedding and support us. And whatever we decided to do, they just wanted us to be happy.
My mom too.
Yeah, after she,
In her mind,
in her mind,
she's coming from a good place.
She
So,
is.
mom, I love you if you're listening to
Yeah,
this. Just throwing it out there.
She's coming from a good place.
Yes.
But I think it helped that my parents didn't want to make any demands. So it kind of helped her come to some of her senses as well. Because initially it was not like that.
I think that's pretty common though. You know, when people are getting married, their parents probably have a specific vision in their minds of what that wedding should
They've
look
been
like.
planning that wedding since you were born.
Exactly. So, you know, it's interesting because they have been thinking about it, and they probably would like to have our wedding in a certain manner and do it their way.
Yeah.
And that's all parents, I think.
Yeah.
Well, most parents.
Most parents.
And so when the kids are maybe fighting it or not necessarily in agreement with that vision,
Yeah.
then for sure it's a little bit hurtful for them, probably, you know?
Yeah. Because I know with you, you had some clashes with your mom. And there were moments when you didn't talk to her for a couple of days because you guys couldn't come to
We
terms.
needed to cool off. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was because we were so adamant about doing it our way.
Mm-hmm.
And what we had in mind was even something like a civil wedding.
Yeah.
We didn't even want to really
We didn't want to do a wedding.
like a big wedding or anything like
No.
that. If we were going to do anything, it was going to be very small, right? I mean, you wanted like under 10 people or something like that.
I just wanted my parents and maybe like a couple of close relatives and friends. And that was it. That's
and
all
we
I
would have been
wanted.
totally happy with that.
Yeah, because I mean, we've been together for a decade now.
Oh my God. Before we got married?
Before we got married.
No, we were at like
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years before we got married.
Okay,
Dating.
close enough.
Yeah, practically married at that
Practically
point.
married. So, you know, for me, it didn't make, I don't know. You know, because I debate over if it's a good use of our money or not.
It's expensive.
It was very expensive. But then, you know, I think about my parents, your parents, our friends and family. Like they want a day to, I'm pretty sure they would want a day to
just
celebrate and
with
solidify our love, right? And make it official, paper official.
Mm-hmm.
Which don't get me into that. We filled out the paper incorrectly.
No, it wasn't incorrect. It was just
We were missing some details.
Yeah, and then like if you have to, it's so annoying because that application you have to write in the lines, and if you have a little bit of the letter, like the B is like touching the bottom of the line, and they'll kick it back and say, "Oh, that's void."
So our application got voided
The first time
the
around.
first time.
No, it wasn't even voided. It was just they sent it back to revise it
Correction.
because we wrote over the line barely.
Yeah,
That was the big thing. But that was ridiculous. And we didn't even know that.
we did not.
So we're like, so are we technically not married?
A second chance?
You have us. You can still back out. But no, it was fixed.
No, it's fixed.
So we are officially married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for my mom, like in her mind, first and foremost, she always envisioned that and hoped that I would marry a Chinese girl.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you're not full Chinese. You do have a part
It's
part Chinese,
Yeah.
quarter Chinese,
Yeah.
mostly
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese. And so she had that in mind because it just would make things easier in terms of communication because she doesn't really speak Vietnamese or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also like maybe traditions, two traditional families would understand the traditions a little bit more.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, in her mind, it was the most important thing in a Chinese traditional wedding is the tea ceremony. And for those of you guys that aren't familiar or have never been to a Chinese wedding before, the tea ceremony is kind of like the main ceremony of the union, basically. And what happens is we would be pouring tea, basically, for our parents and the elders,
Yeah.
right?
It's a way to pay respect to them and acknowledge them. Right?
Yeah, because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you basically pour tea.
Yes.
And you serve it to them.
We serve it to like our family, like
Yeah.
our parents, people that are important, like our uncles, aunts, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and we also paid respect to our ancestors.
Yes.
Well, we did that in the morning.
And when you pour them tea, they give you a red envelope with money in it.
Or jewelry.
Or jewelry. No, jewelry. Oh, yeah. No, that's right. Yeah.
So you either get draped in jewelry.
Which you did.
Which I did. A lot of
That was
jewelry.
Cool.
That was really cool.
I don't think you were expecting that.
No, I was draped out feeling like Cleopatra.
Blinged out.
I had so much gold.
Why did they do that though? We didn't really know because my mom was like, you have to do the tea ceremony. It's super important. And I know that was the most important thing for them.
Yeah.
So
I think the jewelry, it's a way, I guess back in the day, it's to provide some type of like monetary goods for the bride and groom to start their life. Like it's
almost
like a Kickstarter. Of like a little chunk of
everybody's
money.
Chipping in, the family's chipping in to help with this newlywed couple. Like you said, to kickstart their life. So similar maybe to like a dowry kind of thing.
Yeah.
Except the dowry usually goes to the girl's, the woman's family and parents. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then so that's the tea ceremony, which we did incorporate. Because
that was the most important thing for her and my dad. So we were like, all right, we'll consider it. And then we ended up going with it.
Yeah. Well, we had a little twist to that, right?
Yeah.
We made it our way. We had the tea ceremony after our two really good friends married us. In a more modern tradition, a modern wedding.
Yeah, because usually the tea ceremony would be done either the morning of the wedding.
It's like an all-day thing.
Or the day before.
Yeah.
Because it does typically take a longer period of time, like a couple hours or whatever. Your
sister did the full traditional tea ceremony, and hers took like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, because then usually there's food and stuff like that, so it's a whole event.
So we kind of simplified it.
We did. We cut it down to like 15-20 minutes on the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
After the
but your mom was
ceremony.
Happy with that, right?
Yeah, we compromised. Yeah.
Compromise.
But before that, because we were so tight on schedule, because she originally wanted to do that in the morning. And keep in mind that our venue was going to be over an hour to get to.
Yeah.
Right. And you had a bunch of stuff.
Hair and makeup.
Like, and how long do those things take?
That took 3 hours.
For hair?
And makeup.
Yeah. Okay. So for both things, it took 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but I didn't even have a bridal party.
Right.
So it was just for myself. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
And for my mom too.
So it would be too rushed if we were trying to do that ceremony, the tea ceremony in the morning, and then, we got to rush to the venue, and then you have to get ready, and then there's just too packed, too stressful, and that was the last thing we wanted. The
photographers were coming, the videographer, because they wanted to do that a couple of hours before the wedding to capture some of the sunset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or this, yeah.
Yeah.
So just a lot.
It was a lot. So we compromised on that. And then your mom also had some superstitions.
Oh.
She's very superstitious.
So this was even before we had before the wedding date.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of stuff that she wanted to get involved in.
Well, let's go back to when you told her that you were getting married. What did she do?
Oh, yeah. So we just got back from
Florence,
Italy. where I proposed to you. And obviously when and we told them that we got engaged. And when I came back home and I told her the great news, she was excited. It was almost kind of like a sigh of relief, because she was like, about damn time somebody is gonna take you off my hands, right? And she's like, wait here a second, because
She clapped.
she clapped her hand, and then she was like, wait here. I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on?
You thought you were gonna get a gift.
Yeah, I don't know. A red envelope, maybe. She went in the room, took a couple minutes, and then she came back out, and she had like this notebook. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What is this? And then she's like, these are all, it's a thick notebook too, right? These are all the people that we need to invite to the wedding. It wasn't even a question. It was just like, these are the people that you need to invite to the wedding. And, she started listing off some of the people. It was like people that I haven't seen since I was like 2-3 years old or whatever, and it's everybody's wedding that you've been to. Technically, those people you have to invite. And I was like, oh my goodness.
It was like 300 people on that list.
Yeah, because, in Chinese culture, it's a lot about face and like perception. And, you want to show off almost a little bit. And just,
Yeah.
It's a celebration. It's like very proud. And, it's all that stuff. So it was a big deal to her.
I was very overwhelmed.
And typically, Chinese weddings are pretty big. A couple hundred people.
Yeah.
At least big in our mind, right?
Yeah, in our mind.
Especially because we originally wanted to do under 10 people.
We wanted small. 300 was overwhelming.
Right. So we definitely didn't want to do that. But that was one of the things that my mom for sure wanted immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were some other things like the wedding day, like what date to pick.
Oh my God. That was
So talk a little bit about that.
So for that year, there were only certain months that were considered lucky or good months to get married.
Right.
So that narrowed it down to half. So now we have 6 months out of the year to pick from. But listen,
it's not auspicious, dude. You want to get married on an inauspicious day? I think because we picked the month originally and we told her like, oh, we're thinking this date.
And she said no.
And she's like, no,
that's not good.
that's really bad luck. I was like, oh, okay.
So it narrowed it down to like 6 months. We had like 6 months to pick from. Like it was like September, August, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact months anymore, but she gave us a list of basically only 6 months to pick from. And as we were going through, deciding which month would be best for us, our schedule, weather, all of that stuff.
And for the guests.
What's convenient?
Yeah.
What days do kids have off? Or like months, are they on summer vacation? We were considering all of that. We picked a month and she's like, no, you can't pick that month. And we're like, wait, why? It's part of your 6.
Part of the available.
Available months. She's like, yeah, it's because you can't pick that month because one of your cousins or close
getting
relatives
married that month. Yeah.
or they've gotten married in that month. So we couldn't pick a month that someone else has gotten married.
No, more recently. That's what it was.
Yeah, but
or if they had booked it for that month, because my cousin happened to be getting married that same
month.
year.
But then also, and then she backtracked, and she was like, "No, you can't."
You remember this very clearly.
Yeah, I do, because I was very overwhelmed with all these rules. Because I was trying to make her happy too.
Yeah, I could see that.
I was very considerate, because I wanted her to feel like she had a part of the wedding, and I was just trying to please everybody. And she's like, no, you can't pick that month because your cousin had the wedding the year prior in the same month, because we wanted to get
one of them
in August originally.
Mm-hmm.
And then she backtracked and she's like, no, you know what, now you guys can't pick a wedding date in the same month as any of your prior close relatives have gotten married. And we're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, because that would mean that because there's only 12 months out of the entire
Sure.
year. So that means only 12 couples in the entire family could have ever gotten married if that was the rules.
I think it was getting
It was
really
getting,
complicated.
and then when we asked her about it, she started getting confused.
She's like, I'm not sure. Let me get back to you. Let me confer with
and then,
another relative or one of her friends. And then, of course, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has these superstitions or traditions, and then it's like it clashes. There's like
and then it's little tweaks here
right,
and there.
right. It's kind of let's make it up as we go kind of thing. I mean, again, not to poke fun at traditions. I think those are really important. But I think it was just one of those funny things.
It was funny. And then she came back with a different set of rules.
Right. So somehow we actually found a date that worked.
we were all happy
and we're
with.
just like, you know what? Let's just go with it. If she's happy with it, it works.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out because kids weren't in school in September. They had the break, right? My cousins.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah. Well, at least Emily and Jaden did. I don't think they didn't have to miss out on school.
Okay. Well, we didn't have that many kids at the
and then
wedding.
It was a nice warm month.
Yeah.
It was just a nice.
Okay. It worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah, that's true. But that was just a funny way of like it's not even the wedding day yet, and that was the first challenge that we had to get through. The first
challenge was just to pick the date.
Yep. So then that, and then
tell them about your pants story.
Oh my god, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I
you should.
I'm gonna get embarrassed about it. So I don't know if this is a Chinese thing, but it was definitely one of the things that my mom told us about. That was her superstition. So I'm the oldest sibling, and I have a younger brother, younger sister, and my younger sister actually, basically, in my mom's traditional or superstition rules, technically the oldest has to get married first, and you have to go in that order. I don't even know how would you plan that, right? So I would have to get married first as the oldest, then the second, which is my sister, would get married next, and then my youngest brother would get married after that. And we're pretty relatively close in age. You know, my sister's only 2 years younger than I am. So she's like, if that doesn't happen, then you know that's bad luck or whatever, right? It's going to be embarrassing or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so of course we weren't ready to get married yet at that time. But my sister was, and she had been waiting.
Poor thing. She's been waiting. She probably waited for like a year.
Yeah, just because my mom said no, because they wanted to get married.
Yeah, I know they did.
And
I felt bad, but I didn't want to feel pressured into marrying you either.
Right, because then we found out, we're like, oh no, just go ahead.
Just go ahead. Like, we don't mind.
But she was like trying to respect, you know, honor my mom's wishes, and then I don't know. And then basically she got married first. And so basically in my mom's eyes, she's like, oh, so she leapfrogged you, right? She leapfrogged you in terms of like how soon you got married. And so therefore, when it was my turn to finally, in her eyes, quote unquote, finally get married, as part of the ceremony before marriage, I was supposed to walk into the house through the main entrance, while there's a pair of pants, like my pants or somebody's pants. I hope they were my pants. I don't know. Somebody's pants like split across, like open legged, and I have to crawl under it, basically, like crawl through it. It's as because I got married after, because somebody leapfrogged me. So it's like a metaphor of, I don't know. It's a symbolic leapfrog, right? Those pants leapfrogged me. I'm crawling under those damn pants. I was like, hell no, I am not doing that, man. Like, but she wanted me to do that. You should have
done it. I would have.
And even she was cracking up when she was saying it. She's like, "Oh, I heard you're supposed to do this." I don't know if my mom was just screwing with me.
She's probably making up stuff.
It didn't seem. She was like semi-serious, but then also like cracking up at the same time. I'm like, how old or how outdated is this superstition? Like, why are you gonna haze your own son? Like, she probably just got a kick out of it just to see how it would squirm. But we said no to that. I said no to that. I was very, very firm about that one. But we had a good laugh about it. So, and And then what were some other superstitions?
Okay, this one we failed miserably on. Not because, well, because we didn't know when we were buying the bed. So so your bed isn't supposed to move, right? It's supposed to be a stationary bed.
Because it's supposed, I asked my mom why. She said it's supposed to symbolize stability in your marriage. The bed is not supposed to move. So it needs to stay stationary, right? Ideally.
Yeah.
But what happened?
We bought one of those Tempur-Pedic bed where it could
Tempur-Pedic, yeah.
reclining bed where it could move
That goes up and down. Incline, decline.
Incline, decline, the feet, the head.
We did the total opposite of what was supposed to be auspicious. But so she got mad and she's like, no, you can't do that. But then
she found out after.
She found out after. So there was nothing we could do after, right?
Yeah, it's already
So
done.
she's like, okay, fine. You can't recline it anymore. I'm
And
like,
you're like,
what? We paid a premium for this, dude. Like,
and you're like, too late. We've been reading at an incline.
Yeah. And then like with the bed, we were supposed to use like the red color. Red symbolizes good luck and good fortune, auspiciousness in Chinese culture.
Yeah.
And she bought us a bed set, right? Like sheets and blankets and pillowcases that were red.
Yeah. So on our wedding day, his mom somehow got keys to our room.
Because we were staying at the hotel.
Yeah, at the hotel. And I think she probably got it from your sister or something. Because we gave keys out to people just in case they wanted to go in the room and get ready.
We were setting up.
Because we had multiple rooms too. But in case they wanted to rest, whatnot, they had a place.
A home base. Yeah.
Yeah, a base. And I guess your mom she went probably during the dinner time. I'm not sure when she went. But she basically went into the room, redecorated the hotel room. She had props and all.
Chinese stickers for good luck.
Stickers, props,
wall, yeah.
statues.
Oh my God, it's not that bad. There weren't statues. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, there were like little figurines, like and then she changed out their entire bed sheets. And duvet covers and everything. Yeah. I walked into the room and I'm like, where am I?
But it was like, yeah, it was super red. But it was fine. It's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not a big deal. But I just found it
was pretty funny
how she didn't tell us she was going to do it. And then she just did it. And I walked in the room at the end of the party and I'm like, wait, where am I? Why did the room turn entirely red?
Yeah. I mean, she's coming from a good place,
she's coming
right?
from a
because
good
in
place.
her mind and her belief, basically doing those things, it's only going to benefit us, you know? It was like for good luck, for auspiciousness to bring, right, fortune and all those things. So I see why she did it, but it's just funny because...
It's just funny.
Yeah, especially because there's just some things that maybe we don't agree with or I don't know, you know, it's just
It's not
different.
that I don't agree with it. It just took me by surprise, right?
Something we're not familiar with.
You're coming back to your hotel room and it's been redecorated.
Right. Like, had a makeover, just like a remodel.
A makeover, exactly.
This was in the same room we walked into this morning. Yeah. So, but yeah, those are pretty funny stuff. Just little tidbits. And there were a lot more things during that time of planning that she told me we were supposed to do. And I just, at some point, like I could not keep track of all of it. And I didn't even tell you. That's why you don't even know half of the stuff that my mom told me to do. But you know what?
The good thing is that your sister got married before us. Mm-hmm. And your sister let your mom plan the entire wedding.
Yeah.
And I think she got a lot of those stuff out of her system.
She did. Yeah.
So for us, it's just like, oh, it's like a cherry on top, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
my sister was funny because they did a civil wedding and they didn't want to do like a whole ceremony thing either.
Yeah.
But to make my parents happy and, you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
The agreement was basically, hey, if we don't have to do any of the planning and you do it, like at least the big stuff, then that's fine. Like then we can do something. Just really to keep mom happy. Mm-hmm. And that's the hard thing, you know, like Ha I see, I felt the pressure too because I wanted them to feel happy and, um, while but at the same time, like, I wanted to make sure we did things our way too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Because I
just a
wanted,
balance.
yeah, because I wanted them to feel like they got a say
Yeah,
in our wedding and that we didn't just completely dismiss them.
right. Because that
Because,
would be a crappy feeling, you know?
yeah. And I think we owe it to them to let them be part of our
Big day.
big day.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, that was our way of thinking. Because I know sometimes it can be easy, especially if you're in that situation and it's your parents, like they have a very strong opinion about what your wedding day should be like. And I've seen it too. Some parents literally run the whole show,
Yeah.
and the bride and groom, you could see how stressed they are the day
Yeah.
of or even leading up to it. Like, it's not even their wedding anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because we know people or
Yeah.
our,
We've been to weddings where
we've been
that's the
to weddings
case.
like that, or we know people where their parents and them, they stopped talking for a
Yeah.
while after the wedding because of the strain it put into the
Relationship.
relationship, which I think it's a shame because a wedding is just a day to celebrate love, right?
Should be
It shouldn't
happy and
happy.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just, how many occasions do we have in life where, all of your closest friends and relatives get together
Yeah.
like that, right? And just to celebrate love and a union of two people.
Hmm.
It's rare.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, because one of my friends told me about her wedding, and she's a little bit older than us. So she got married a few years ago, and she got caught in that situation where she really didn't want to do a traditional like Chinese wedding, but her mom was so forceful about it, and they got into huge fights leading up to it. And it was so bad that basically, they really didn't talk to each other for a while. And basically the mom was threatening not even to show up to her wedding.
wow.
Yeah. So eventually she caved and was like, all right, we'll just do it your way. Right. And now she's like, I look back and I regret like letting it get that bad,
Yeah.
It sucks because there was no compromise. But I can see you want to please your parents and you want to honor them. You want to respect them. But at the same time, you still have to do this in a way that you and your spouse um, are happy with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's your day too.
Sure.
I mean, it's your parent. It is your parents' day as well, right? Because they
raised
raise
you
you.
and
They're part of it. They're an important part of it. But at the end of the day, it's your day.
yeah.
And I wanted to look back on the day we got married and be happy about the decisions that we made.
Mm-hmm.
My tip or takeaway from all of this is compromise. Compromise with them, right? Be empathetic. Just keep in mind, no matter how things get, they're coming from a good place, right? They just
Place of
a
love.
place of love.
They're not telling you to do these things to make you miserable or to stress you out.
Yeah, it's coming from a place of love. And sometimes if even things that doesn't make sense, maybe just take a step back and see why they want you to incorporate those things or
Yeah.
why it was a part of the tradition.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just be like, no, I don't agree with that, or no, that sounds dumb. Like, I don't want to do that, or this or that, without even considering it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see if you can come to terms.
Yeah. And we're talking primarily about our experience,
Yeah.
because like a traditional Chinese wedding, but it could be other cultures, like
yeah.
where you're getting married at a church, or there's
Other superstitions.
other superstitions, family traditions. Right. It might seem insignificant to you and your spouse, especially if you grew up in the US. Our way of thinking is a little bit different, and it's generational too. Right. But it's not, maybe it's way more important to your family members or the people that are giving you some of their input, So being empathetic, I think, is important. That's good advice.
Yeah. And I think tradition is beautiful.
Yeah. We wanted to incorporate some of it.
Yeah.
Not everything.
Not everything.
Definitely not the pants ritual. I'm going to call that the pants ritual. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, there's some things that if it made sense to us and it wasn't going to be such a big deal, we were willing to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm glad we did.
And I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It kind of helped.
Spice things up a little
Yeah,
bit.
it makes it a little bit more special and unique. Right.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that on the same note, right? You have to know when to put your foot down too, and make a stance and say, well, I hear what you're saying, right? To parents or whoever is giving you input. Because the truth is like, no matter what kind of wedding you have, there's always going to be people, even guests, that are going to talk crap or make a judgment, or well, I would have done it this way. You know what I mean? Like in the back of their minds, they might not verbalize it, but they might be thinking, oh, why did they pick those colors? Or, you know what I mean? That's just, you're not going to make everybody happy. No, that's life, you know?
And don't feel pressure to invite everybody as well.
We reached a middle ground. We didn't do 400 people. We also didn't do 10 people.
Yeah. How many did we do?
I think we were at like 120. Does that sound right?
Like 110.
110.
Yeah,
okay.
110.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ended up with 110, which is a
still pretty good size.
Still pretty good size. But it's not
overwhelming.
We had to say no to a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I struggled with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that I definitely wanted to have there. Unfortunately, though, you know, because of the size of the venue and the limited space that we had, right, we did have to say no to a lot of people, you know, or we had to cross them off the list.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like, oh, we don't love those people or we don't think of them as friends or anything like that. Of course not, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, look, you can't invite everybody.
Yeah.
It's just not practical, you know?
Yeah.
And those were hard decisions to make, for sure.
Yeah.
But you got to go with it. Go with your gut. And if they're real like friends and family, they'll understand. They're not going to take it so personally. And if they do, I mean, you know, that says a lot about that person or the relationship, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, those are good lessons to learn. Was there anything else you could take away from or advice that we can give maybe to somebody in a similar situation, just based on our experience?
I think the biggest thing is just empathy, right? Going into it, realizing that your parents are coming, or whoever you're taking advice from is coming from a place of love. Talk with your partner and make a decision where, you know, you won't regret down the future.
That's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing. Be able to live with your decision.
Yeah.
And just don't stress too much. Just enjoy the day. It's going to go by very fast.
In a flash. Yeah.
Yeah, in a flash. Everyone's just trying to take photos, get a moment with you, and next thing you know, it's over.
I know. It was crazy, huh? We were constantly busy.
There was never but one thing I did appreciate was our wedding planner.
Yes.
Taking
the coordinator too.
The coordinator taking us. She was giving us break moments. So she'll pull us aside back to the hotel room, feed us some like little snacks.
Yeah, that was really good. I didn't realize how important that was.
To hydrate, eat snacks, and then going back to the party. And then they served us first before,
to make sure.
Yeah, before people got into the dining hall, to make sure that we were fed and not trying to take photos with our mouth full. So those are little things I appreciate from our wedding planner.
Yeah, so if you can and if you're in a position to have help like that, that's totally worth the investment.
Yeah.
Having someone there to kind of move things along, to help with those little moments, like giving us a break and kind of controlling the flow of everything.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
But just enjoy your day.
Be in the moment. That's probably the big thing, right?
Yeah, be in the moment. You know, just be in the moment and realize that all the people there that showed up to your day, they're there for you. and your significant other, the person you're marrying.
Yeah, they're there to celebrate you, to support you.
Yeah, from close by, from far away, they're
Right.
there for you.
Yeah, so enjoy and have
Yeah, just
fun.
have fun.
Like you said, I mean, think how many other times in your life do you have that many of your closest friends and family and people that are important and care about you all in one place, right? It's your wedding and it's your funeral, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a dark
That's a
like turn.
dark. Whoa! I was like, I didn't
No, but it's
expect
true,
that.
right? I mean, obviously, there's other like little celebrations or smaller. I mean, when you have a kid and things like that, but it's not going to be the same amount of people, right?
Mm-mm.
The same
No.
size and magnitude and all that.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of good in terms of just an overview and what we went through. But we made it work, compromised.
Yeah. And make sure you share some of your traditions with us
Yeah, well,
or superstitions.
especially the funny ones.
Especially the funny ones. We would love to hear
I'm
them.
curious about what other
Yeah.
cultures or other family traditions people have or superstitions that would be like, what the heck? It makes you scratch your head or you just like laugh. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, really?
There's some really good
Old
ones.
wives' tales, all those good things.
Yeah.
But well, I think that's it for us.
That's it for us. Well, until next time, make sure you subscribe to us.
On YouTube. Subscribe.
On
So
YouTube. If you're on YouTube, ring the bell.
for the notifications.
Yeah, thumbs up for the like. And if you're watching us or listening to us through podcasts, iTunes, make sure you download the podcast.
Magnetic Mismatch.
To the Magnetic Mismatch, and follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us.
Give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah. Well, not on Instagram, but yeah, like our page or subscribe to our page.
iTunes, yeah.
We update there regularly on what we're doing, the fun activities we're doing, where we're traveling, where we're eating at.
There will be a lot of those.
Yeah. We just love food.
Cool. All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.